drive along an ocean reflecting the sun, or make a bed of green atop a wide open scene. Under a canvas of blue, I would draw ever nearer to you, to feel the dew on your skin. That is how it would begin. For summer is for falling in love. We could stay out late until the sun sets past 8, and the cotton candy haze mirrors the warmth of your gaze. Raise your glass to mine, and as we drink, we would lock eyes, so we could disregard the thought of ever having to part. For summer is for falling in love. This lightness of being, we both know to be fleeting, like the last breath of a sunset right before the day is dead. But maybe the heat of today could keep even winter away. So I'll remember your laugh, 'cause nothing ever changes the fact that summer is for falling in love. Da-dun-da-dun-day. Summer is for falling in love.
Hello guys, welcome back. I'm your friend Insexo. Yeah, I just spent another few hours trying to create something. If you guys ever know what is the product making, if you ever know how to design a product, you will know what I am doing right now. I'm just trying to design a product. In a general view, as you could say, we have a lot of boxes connected with each other, something like that. But it contains some intelligence inside of that. It can be a little bit tedious for those people who do not understand those things, but if I do an explanation to you, you probably would understand it. No matter what kind of product you make, for those standard process, they will have this graph which explains the process of that software or application or something like that. Okay, let me do it. At the first, we got the registering or login stuff. For me, I do care about other stuff. All I care about is the email address. So when the user give me an email address, I will do the following. I will try to generate a written string and then put that email address and that written string, or even since this application will be running on our user's mobile phone, so the mobile phone will definitely have a device ID. So I'll also use that device ID. So for this case, we'll get a string, the user email address, the written string, and the device ID, and we'll save it in a temporary database in memory. And after that, I will send that written string to our user's email box. So here the user got two choices. One is to ignore that email address. If the user chooses to do that, we will just forget about it. We will clean this radius record or this string in our database after 5 minutes. Otherwise, if that user decided to check that email and give our for mobile application, the written string we just sent to their email. Then we will go to the next step. We'll do a check to say if the device UUID, the device ID and the written string the user gave me matches the email address or not, to be specific if it matches this or not. If it does not match, we will display an error to that user and we do nothing since it cannot give us the right written string we sent to them. Otherwise, if that user give us the right written string we just sent to them, then we will give it the Johnson Web token. Sorry about that. And to be specific, the token would be just the string received on our database. Okay, so far this is the authentication system that I designed for now. Why I do this? Because I normally do not care about the user's password. Why I care about that? The email provider will make sure that email address is belong to our user, and all I need is the email address. And with that email address, we can even send something to our user when necessary. So for this case, if you go to the database structure, you would say that we only got two parts. One part is the MySQL, which contains the user information, which just have an email address. And another part is the radius. It's a database in memory. For this case, it has to save that string we just got, so that for the next time, if the user somehow log in with this string, we could know that, well, that's the user corresponding to this email address. Okay, then when the user successfully logged in, we will let it get into the home page with a list of rooms or with a list of rooms. I don't care. One thing I forgot to tell you. What I'm about to do or make is a chat room. It's a voice chat room like the Host Club, something like that. If you don't know what a Host Club is, let me just do a search for you. Well, Clubhouse is a social audio app for iOS and Android where users can communicate in audio chat rooms with those people they like. So that user will see a list of rooms, right? And then he got basically two options. One is to create a room. In that case, we will show a dialog where the user can input the room name, the name of that room. And if that user had the enter button, then we will let it get into that room. Otherwise, we'll just do nothing. We'll let it go back to the home page, which is a list of rooms. Okay, so if that user gets into a room, what he could do? He could say other participants, other members inside of that room, and then he could do the talk. But and after he talked to those people, he has to do a choice. For example, if he want to leave or not. If he decide to not leave, then he can continue to do the talking. Otherwise, we will lead it to the homepage, which contains a list of rooms. Okay, the logic here is quite simple, but for the backend service, it can be a little bit tricky. For now, I only introduced you the database structure. Well, it's also somehow have a lot of stuff related to those programming languages, since for example, here I'm going to use a Python to do to make the user assistant, which is quite simple. We just have to store the email address and to do the JSON web token verification. This is one service. And another part is the TypeScript or the JavaScript. For this one, why use it? Because the LiveCat only provides the Golang and the TypeScript SDK to control its service. So I think by using the TypeScript, that would be much simpler. So I decided to use it. So we'll use it to control the LiveCat framework so that it can manage the rooms. For example, to create a room or delete a room, and also give us other members inside of that room. Well, maybe for the Python user system, it has to also save other information, for example, the username or the picture of that user. I don't know. That's something that I didn't design right in here, but it should be inside of that system. Okay, then after so many things, in the end, no matter how good or backend service would be, in the end we have to make it to communicate with the front end side, which is the application inside of the user's mobile phone. So how do we do that? Here I'm going to use the Rust because I did that research with the Rust, and I'm going to use the gRPC. Why? Because I'm very tired with those API boundings. So if we could use the gRPC to simplify our work, then that'd be words for doing it. So basically here I'm going to use Rust as a gateway to connect the inner service written by Python or TypeScript to the outside world, which is written by the Flutter. And since it's a gateway, it has to do the authentication with the GWT so that we can make sure that any requests that do not pass the authentication will get dropped. But here's the problem. I have never done such a thing before. I mean, to use the gRPC to verify the GWT before the request. I have never done that before, so I think this might be a research or an experiment that we are going to do when I have the time. So basically this is it, and by using the extension draw.io, we could easily to draw those graphs without any problem inside of the VS Code, and then we could use it inside of the README file by doing so that when I upload this document to the GitHub, everyone could see it. So I think this is a good way for designing the product, because we could use a markdown syntax, right? And we also could make that graph, which is awesome. Yeah, and right now, as you can see, the background of me, this is how it looks like when we share it to the others on the website. Okay, this is it. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.